Good morning, noon or night everyone, depending on when you're watching this. Welcome back to Infinity Towers. Now, as promised in the last episode, we will be covering diamonds, how to make an infinite amount of them. And this is made in a slightly different way than you probably imagine. It's using a very... what's a good word for it? A very... I don't know, something you wouldn't probably use for making diamonds. But before we go into all that stuff, what I want to do is to cover a couple of things I missed out in the last episode. So we just get back into there we are. So after testing this for a longer time, rather than what it's actually been doing, I have test world. I test all this stuff first hand without the other stuff. But I ran into a couple of problems, which I just want to clarify and sort out. Start with, you may remember I mentioned that my the cart out here wasn't the correct cart. It wasn't the correct cart. Now, I have changed it over. It's a bit of a cheaper cart than actually I had. Where you go, buddy. It's basically, I've got like two in here. This is the one I was using, the Tree Cutter 3000. That's very poorly named, and this is the modular cart I'm using now. Basically, the only difference is the woodcutter is a now just a basic woodcutter rather than a hardened one, and the standard hole is just make it a little bit cheaper, for actually starting. And the phone's ringing now. Fantastic. That's what I wanted in the middle of this. Thank you. So basically, it's just out there. It's doing its thing. It will work exactly the same as the previous one. The only difference is this can actually be repaired. The drill here, the woodcutter, can be repaired with diamonds. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using diamonds to repair that as it goes. A little bit cheaper than using reinforced metal because that costs quite a bit. Now, second problem I had was up here. I hadn't set this thing to round robin. You can set a item duct to round robin mode whenever you add a pneumatic servo to it first. You right click the pipe with the crescent hammer, like so, and just change it to round robin mode. And this will go, because you need it in round robin mode, simply because it has to go to 4 places. You need to distribute this charcoal to 4 different places. One being the back of the alchemical construct to create the stuff here. Another 2 to go, one to go in the bottom of the alchemical furnace, and 1 to go in the side of the alchemical furnace for the charcoal production for the ignis and the potentia. And the final one to go into the bottom here, so we keep smelting the coal, the cobble. Sorry, not the coal, the cobble. So make sure you got that set around robin mode, and once all these get filled up, this will start being filled up more, and this will generate a bit quicker, a little bit quicker. So that's problem 2. Just make sure this is set around robin mode. In fact, if you ever have to distribute more stuff to any more in one place, like over here, I've set this one to round robin mode here as well. What's next? Next problem I had was, you may remember I had a little lag spike. I had an Essentia tube here, in this gap here. Problem with that was, it sometimes mucked up a little bit. How Essentia tubes work is that they suck. They look for stuff to suck into them, rather than, my phone is pinging now, rather than being filled with stuff like pipes are. This pipe is being put into here and it's going around. These pipes aren't looking for anything; they're just a transport. Essentia tubes look for stuff, so this requires ignis. If a tube is connected to the ignis, which it was, so this tube here is looking for ignis, and it will suck out ignis because it's connected to this, and it's looking for it in there. Problem I had was, when it was connected to here, these two were connecting, and when this ran out, because they were connecting, this one here started looking for potentia instead of ignis, meaning when it came around to completing it and we needed more ignis, nothing was looking for it, and it wasn't being pumped in. So if you're copying this design, make sure you put this over the top just to avoid confusion between these two here. Finally, I just added a chest here, not a chest, a barrel from Jabba, the better barrel, just as a small buffer, just in case for when these all get full. As you can see, these are still providing plenty of power, about a quarter of the way there now. And I've just let this run. I've not touched it. It's just been doing its thing while I've been setting up for this episode. And you see these survivor generators are filling up a little bit of elementum, but once these get full, these furnace generators will start building up an internal buffer as well, hence I'll put that there just for later use. So that is everything for the just a small recap of the last episode, just because I wasn't quite happy with how it came out, just because I missed so much that I meant to do. I had a little list and everything, and I just didn't look at it. So without much further ado, we're going to get onto diamonds. Now, diamonds are typically made naturally over hundreds and hundreds of years, or thousands and thousands of years, by carbon being compressed down into into diamonds. So basically, it's just a lot of pressure on carbon. So like fossils can become, so like anything that's carbon based, so bones, humans, animals, fossils, plants, anything that's carbon over a long time, it has potential to become a diamond. So you may think we're just going to be compressing carbon down, which you can do using Minechem. Minechem allows you to break down components into their base base elements on the periodic table and then recombine them into something else. So we can do that. There is a way to do that as well, but we're going to be doing a bit more unorthodox route. We are going to be using these guys out here. We are going to be making diamonds from sheep. Guys. Blue sheep, to be particular. To get a blue sheep, you simply just right-click them with whatever dye you want. So in this case, I've had lapis. And we're not actually going to be using the sheep themselves. The sheep are not going to be harmed. They are not going to be crushed into diamonds. So don't worry. I'm not doing any cruelty to animals or anything. We're actually going to be using the lapis that they are going to give us. Now, thermal expansion has used a very interesting mechanic in where if you pulverize a piece of dyed wool, you have a 25% chance of getting that dye back. Meaning every 4 pieces of blue wool we shear from these guys using the rancher here, from Minecraft Reloaded, very simple to use as well, so don't worry about that. Every piece of wool we shear from these guys, for every 4 of them will give us 1 piece of lapis, in theory. Using the law's probability, that'll happen. So, by pumping it up here, and into the 2nd floor of the Infinity Tower, we'll just go up on the elevator. This is our setup for creating diamonds, and I'm just falling through the hole. I really need to fix this place. Okay. I think I fell through that hole, actually, that one hole. So yeah, we're going to be making diamonds in this way. So we have the pulverizer here, and it will produce 4 string and a 25% chance of giving us a lapis. Now, the string we don't actually need. This is a way of getting unlimited string as well. Mind you, it's pretty straightforward. It's not hard to do. Just pulverizing wool. You could always turn it back into wool if you want afterwards. But I'm just going to get rid of it because I've got no use for it. But if you want, you can barrel it. You can save all those string if you want. I'm just pumping straight into a void chest, which will just delete the item. What we're after is the lapis that will appear into here. Now, why do we need lapis? Lapis is what we're going to turn into diamonds. The lapis is there's a recipe in Xeno's I can never say the word. Let me just type it in. Not that one. I want to type in Xeno. Xeno. Xeno's Requillery. That thing. The thing there. In the blue. Xeno something. Xeno's R. There is a book called the Book of Alcahest. This book has no crafting recipe when you click it. You can just find out what you can use with it by right-clicking it. So if you go through these a bit, and you go across here, you can get extra. You can basically, almost like equivalency exchange from back in the day. You can almost equivalently exchange redstone and lapis for different items. Diamonds being one of them. Here it is. By using a diamond and a Tome of Alcahest and 4 pieces of lapis block, we can create 2 diamonds. So the sheep are going to create us blue wool, the pulverizer will give us lapis, and the lapis will give us diamonds. So we now need to automate this. The Tome of Alcahest, like I said, you can't find a recipe for the book. There is a cheat way around finding it in here. If you type in Neverwart, and you look at the didn't what? What just happened there? You look at the recipe for Neverwort. So you, and you go across one, is here. Tome of Alcahest. You'll climb your Wizard Skull, a gas tier, a lava bucket, a Neverwort, gold ingot, blaze rod, magma cream, glowstone, and a book. And I just happen to have some here in the bookshelf. So, using this Tome of Alcahest, we will create infinite diamonds. Now, just notice there's pipes going around here. I made this a while ago, and I forget I do stuff. So, we've got lapis in the pure form, in its just basic form. They all need to become blocks, so we could use like an auto crafting station or even one of the cyclic assemblers, which we'll be using a little later on. But there's a cheaper, power-free alternative, and it's this thing, the packager from Factorization. What this will basically do is anything of the same item that can be used in a crafting table. So, for instance, if we put in, if you filled every slot with redstone, I guess, it'll create a redstone block. Or if you filled in a 2x2 like this grid here with glowstone, it'll create a glowstone block. This basically automates that for you. So you basically just pump in whatever you want, and if it can make an item out of the either a 2x2 or a 3x3 crafting grid, it will automatically do it. So for this instance, we're going to be using lapis, and the lapis just gets pumped in there, turned into a block, and gets pumped out into the cyclic assembler. And this is what we're going to be using to making our diamonds. Now, a cyclic assembler is from Thermal Expansion. It uses it needs a blueprint, a schematic. Schematics are pretty easy to come by, pretty easy to make. You need one of these guys, a Mechanist workbench, a couple of pieces of paper, and a lapis, pretty sure it's a lapis, which one lapis will create you a schematic. If I just recipe, yeah, blue dye and 2 pieces of paper will make you a schematic. Now by right clicking on this, you can paste the schematic in here like so. And if you have some stuff, I don't have any stuff on me, but if you have, for instance, can I make anything out of paper? I wonder, can I make anything out of paper? No. Oh, there we go. I can make something out of paper. So I can make a package from Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod. Whoopee. This won't actually use up the item. It'll just make a ghost of the item, and you need to place the item in the bottom here for it to work. But what the interesting thing is, with these schematics, you can, when selected, you can have 3 selected at once. You can click that button, and it'll create the schematic for this thing here. So, if I was to clear the grid completely, and I was to put that in there, I'm pretty sure, put that there, and then I click the button, it will automatically fill this in. So that's basically how you make a schematic. That's simple. So by putting in the recipe that we're going to be using into here, and then clicking so by putting this recipe into here, and then clicking this button, right schematic button, I can create this schematic over here. Not that schematic here. So it says we need 4 lapis, 1 diamond, and 1 Tome of Alcahest. So we put the Tome of Alcahest in there. We've got 4 lapis blocks in there now, thanks to that extra one we put in. And we need a diamond, which is why I've got one here. So we're going to grab that diamond. And I'm pretty sure this is full on power at the moment, because I was doing a little bit of testing on this before. But we're just going to go plug in the power quickly. There's just one here I need to do. So we're going to start using our power now. It's been building up for a while, about a quarter way there, so we're fine. We're just going to plug that in like so. And now everything upstairs is going to be getting power. Just a wire going along here. So up we go. Including the rancher down there. And I just got some hops. Oh, got some hops. You see they're starting to get sheared. There's one sheared sheep there. And there's probably a couple more getting sheared. When I get close enough, they'll get sheared. So, there you go, there's a couple more down there. Here comes the blue wool. So the blue wool goes straight in here. Pulverized. That's strange doing in the void chest, which is what we wanted. And we didn't get any lapis from that, unfortunately. Nice, unlucky. Round robin. I don't know why I set to round robin. We don't need it there. Get rid of that. Get rid of the hops as well. So lapis is the blue wall's coming up. I'm hopefully going to see one of these get turned into a lapis. Hopefully. I'm not going to get to see one turned into a lapis, am I? Well, damn it. We'll keep an eye on the packager, just in case we get one in there. As you see, it's empty at the moment. But with any luck, we're going to be getting a piece of lapis from this at some point. Now, these are all getting filled up with power as well. This is full on power now. This is nice and full on power. So what we're going to do, we're going to add the diamond to it. And what I've got set up here is a item duct with a round robin set to it. And this just pumps back into the back of this, into the inventory here. Basically, when you use the diamond, like so, it removes, it uses it up, but goes into there. So you need a way of getting the diamond to come back around and pop back in there. And then we have one diamond in here. So, over time, this will just fill up with lapis, hopefully. Of course, you can always expand. So, one last thing before I go. The Xeno stuff, the Tome of Outcast is disabled by default on servers. So, if you want to, if you're doing this in a server world, you want to change the config a little bit to allow this recipe to work. If you're in a single player world, it'll work fine, so don't worry about it. But again, if you're working in a server, you're going to want to enable this on your server if you want to be able to do this. Xeno as well, it will not be around much longer. It's actually going to be turned into a add-on for Formcraft. So it's going to be actually removing this entirely. But I'm not too sure what they're adding in the Formcraft add-on. So there may be something similar. I don't know. I'm going to have to check that out when it gets released. So yeah, that's it for this episode. So thanks very much for watching. I'm going to leave this running for a bit. Looking here, I've got 3 blocks of lapis in there, so it's nearly ready for a 4th. As for the next episode, I'm not too sure what to show you. I've got either a choice. I can either show you infinite XP or infinite gunpowder. So, oh no, make that 3 things. I can show you infinite XP, infinite gunpowder, or infinite lava, without going to the Nether as well. I'd like to point out, without going to the Nether. So let me know in the comments. Just write either lava, gunpowder, or XP, and I'll decide what I'll show you next time. They're all going to get shown at some point, so don't worry. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all later on. Bye bye.